Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Saurav Civil Service Classes, and today we have a study in this video is Physiography of India. And before I start, let's know what is physiography means. Physiography is that branch of geography which study the present relief features of the earth's surface or the natural features in their causal relationships. The present surface feature of India or their formation to various geological period. Both endogenetic and exogenetic forces have been consistently working to shape the present landform on the surface of earth. India has a unique personality with regard to physiography. The, the great diversity of relief features encompassed in the vast dimension of country is simply amazing. The physiography diversity of India embraces lofty young mountain and flat plain and one of the oldest plateau of the world. The Indian islands have their own unique personality. So, a rough estimate made by the Census Commission in 1951, the from the 100% the total land area, uh, 30 10.7% occupied by the mountain which is above the sea level, and the 18.6% is hilly mountain, and the 27.7% plateau, and 43% is plain. So out of total surface area, the different landform occupy the different amount of land area, and it distributed among the earth's surface. So, due to geological complexity and geomorphological diversity, division of India into physiographic region is a difficult task. The view expressed by geographers in this regard are as diverse as the diversity of landforms in India. Some scholars follow the triple tectonic division that the Himalayan mountain, the Indo-Gangetic plain, and the Indian peninsula. There are some scholars who feel that the coastal plain have a separate identity and should be treated as such. More recently, it has been felt that the distant island in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea should have also treated separately. So to be more realistic and for sake of convenience, it is preferred to divide India into 5 physiographic division, and the following are the 5 division of physiography of India. The first is the Himalayan mountain, and second is the Great Plain of North India, third is the peninsular plateau, fourth is the coastal plain, and fifth is the island. So these 5 are the physiographic division of India. So let's move to know about this one by one. This is the map of India. Here we represent the different landform of physiographic division. That the vertical line area is denoted the Himalayan mountain from north to the east, and the dotted area is represented as the northern Indian Plain. The horizontal line area is represented as the coastal plain, and between this the square region is represented as the peninsular plateau. And the in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea there is two the the Andaman and Nicobar and the Lakshadweep. These are the two island physiography of India. Now come to the our first physiography division, the Himalayan mountain. The Himalayan mountain are also known as the Himadri, Himachal or Himavan. This is the youngest and loftiest in the world. The magnitude of their size can be estimated from the fact that the central axial range of main Himalaya alone stretches from a distance of over 2400 kilometers, over a 22-degree longitude from the Indus Gorge in the west to Brahmaputra in east. The width of the Himalaya varies from 500 km in Kashmir to 200 km in Arunachal Pradesh. Pamir, known as roof of the world, is connecting link between Himalayas and high range of Central Asia. The total area of Himalayan mountain region is nearly 5 lakh square kilometer, and the Pamir, popularly known as the roof of the world, is the connecting link between the Himalayas and the high range of Central Asia. From the Pamir, the Himalayas extend eastward in the form of an accurate curve which is convex to the south. Now the origin of Himalayan mountain originated from Tethys Sea, that there is almost a complete unanimity that the Himalayan mountain have come out of a great geosyncline called the Tethys Sea, and that the uplift has taken place in different phases, but divergent views have been expressed regarding the process and the time of uplift, as well as the force responsible for uplift on such a vast scale. About 120 million years ago, the arrangement of continent and the ocean was quite different from what is the today. There was a supercontinent called Pangaea, and its north part consists of present North America and Eurasia, that is Europe and Asia, which was called Laurasia or Angara land. North part is Laurasia, that is Angara land, and the south part of Pangaea was called as Gondwana land. The southern part of Pangaea consists of this Gondwana land consists of the south part, that South America, Africa, South India, Australia and Antarctica. This land mass was called Gondwana land. In between Laurasia and Gondwana land, there is a long, narrow and shallow sea known as Between these, there are narrow sea called Tethys Sea. Sediment were brought by river from these landmass and deposited on the bed of this sea, and the, and there either because of the southward movement of Angara land or due to the northward movement of Gondwana land. The majority of the scientists believe that it is the northward movement of Gondwana land which caused compression in sediment at the floor of the Tethys Sea. So the compression between Laurasia, the southward movement, and the Gondwana land northward movement result in upliftment of sediment of Tethys Sea and known as Himalaya. So this is the story of the origin of Himalaya. And the shape of the Himalaya become the accurate shape, that is convex in south. Uplift of Himalaya mountain is 5 to 10 centimeter per year, that the Himalayan mountain are uplifted per year 5 to 10 centimeter. They not attain isostatic equilibrium, that the frequent occurrence of earthquake in the Himalayan region, so that the Himalayan have not yet attained isostatic equilibrium and they still continue to rise further. The plate tectonic is the responsible for the upliftment of the Himalayan mountain, and there is two forces in tectonic plate is the constructive plate, second is destructive plate, and the third is conservative plate. In constructive plate, it is the diverging margin, that the two plates when come towards each other they move away from to each other, and in destructive plate it is a converging margin, in that when two plates come towards each other and create a fault, and in conservative plates when two slides come closer to each other they slide along to each other. When two plates come to each other they move away from to each other, this plates opposite direction, and in destructive plate when two plates come towards each other they converge and merge into each other and create a upliftment, and in conservative plate the two plates comes when closer they slides along each other, and the Himalaya mountain is result of converging plate, that when two plates come closer to each other they uplift the land mass and create a mountain. Convergence zone of Asiatic plate in north and Indian plate in south, it is the result of the upliftment of Himalayan mountain, and the Asiatic plate is lighter and the Indian plate is denser. In the process of tectonic plate, the in converging margin the lighter plate is go upward, and the denser plate go down to the Asiatic or the lighter plate. Look at the figure. This is the Tethys Sea, and this is the Asiatic plate. This is the lighter, and this is the Indian plate, which is the denser. The denser plate merge inside the lighter plate, and the lighter plate upward and uplift the landmass. In second stage, when these two plates come closer, the Asiatic plates go upward and uplift the landmass and create a mountain range. The Himalayan are the product of the such process of convergence zone of Asiatic plate in north and the Indian plate in south. The Indian plate start moving towards the Asiatic plate, and the Tethys Sea began to contract due to the movement of Indian plate and the Asiatic plate towards each other. Since the Indian plate was made of a denser material than the Asiatic plate, that the Asiatic plate is lighter and the Indian plate is denser. The former began to subduct under the latter compression of the marine sediment on the bed of Tethys Sea, and the Tethys sediment got folded in three successive phases, giving rise to three important ranges of Himalaya. That the Himalayan range, the Trans-Himalayan range, and the Eastern Hill. So that is the story of the origin of Himalayan mountain. Now come to the division of the Himalayas. Geographers generally tend to divide the Himalaya on the geographical, regional, and geological base. Geographically, the entire Himalaya region can be divided into the Himalayan range, the Trans-Himalaya, and the Eastern Hill. The Himalayan range are a series of several ranges, that the Himalayas are not a single chain of range of mountain but a series of several or more or less parallel to converging range. Some are parallel ranges separated. The ranges of Himalayan range are separated by the deep valley, and it gives the dense, rigid, and valley topography of Himalayan mountain. The most of the outstanding valley in Himalayan region are the Vale of Kashmir and Karavas, the Kangra and Kullu Valley in Himachal Pradesh, Doon Valley, and so more, like Mandakini Valley in Kedarnath in Uttarakhand and the Kathmandu Valley in Nepal. Most of rains fall in India, Nepal, and Bhutan, but western slope partially in Pakistan and Afghanistan and Central Asia. The northern slope partially in Tibet. That the most of the ranges fall in India, but the some part of the ranges are partially in the fall in the neighboring country of India. A succession of at least three parallel ranges from Indo-Gangetic Plain to Tibetan Plateau are three. The first is Shivalik range, and the second is the Middle or the Lesser Himalaya, and the third is the Great Himalaya. First is Shivalik range. Shivalik comprises the outermost range of the Himalaya, and it is also known as the Outer Himalaya. Southern steep slope gives hog-back appearance that the horseback appearance. The chief characteristic features of the Shivalik range are the flat scarp, anticlinal crests, synclinal valley. These are the three main characteristic features of the Shivalik range. Hills run almost parallel to the lesser Himalaya for distance about 2400 km from Potwar Plateau to Brahmaputra Valley, and the width vary from 50 km in Himachal Pradesh to 15 km in Arunachal Pradesh. It is an almost unbroken succession of low hills except gap of 80 to 90 km valley of Tista River and 80 to 90 km gap formed by the gorge of Tista and Ladakh joint, which is formed by the gap of 80 to 90 km wide in the Shivalik range, and the altitude varies from the 600 to 1500 meter. The Shivalik range made of Pleistocene sand and gravels of conglomerates. Folded and indurated by earth movement from the middle Miocene to the lower Pleistocene age. Obviously the Shivalik were formed last of all the range. The Shivalik ranges are known different names in different area, that they are called in Jammu Hills in Jammu, and Dafla, Miri and Abor and Mismi Hill in Arunachal Pradesh, and the Dahang range and Dudhwa range in Uttarakhand, and the Chauria Ghat hills of Nepal also form part of the Shivalik range. The rivers cut their courses through the Shivalik range makes dunes in west and Duras in east. Dehradun in Uttarakhand is the best example of such plain. Next is the middle or the lesser Himalaya. The middle Himalaya is situated between the Shivalik in south and the Great Himalaya in north. This range is parallel to both the range known as the Himachal or Lower Himalaya. The middle Himalaya is also known as the Himachal or Lower Himalaya. Their width is this 60 to 80 km, and their elevation varying from 3500 to 45 meter above the sea level. Slopes and steeps give a hogback look like the Shivalik range, and the peaks are above 5050 meter above sea level and are snow covered throughout the year. The important range included are the Pir Panjal, the Dhauladhar, the Mussoorie range, the Nag Tibba and Mahabharat Lake. These are the important ranges of the Middle Himalaya. Pir Panjal is in Kashmir is longest range. The Middle Himalaya ranges are less hostile and more friendly to human contact due to the tourist attraction because of the majority of the Himalayan hill station, and it is the best tourist attraction, and the valley is the more beautiful and their scenes are amazing. So the majority of the Himalayan hills, and it is the more friendly to human contact. Next is the Great Himalaya. Great Himalaya known as Inner Himalaya, Central Himalaya and Himadri. Their average elevation of 61 meter above sea level and their width about 25 kilometer. 150 kilometer away from North Plain, that the Great Himalaya is from the North Plain is away from the 150 kilometer, and it is the fold. This mountain, the Great Himalayan mountain, is the fold and asymmetrical, that no one ranges in Great Himalaya is asymmetrical, that their shape is different and their size is also different, so they are called asymmetrical. The like the Shivalik range and Middle Himalaya, the Great Himalaya is also look and give a hogback topography. Boast of a tallest peak of the world, that the Great Himalaya contain a tallest peak of the world. Several peaks over 8,000 meter in altitude, that their height, the peaks of the Great Himalaya above the 8,000 meter in altitude. The highest peak is Mount Everest. Their height is 8,850 meter above sea level. In Nepal, the Mount Everest. In Nepal, the Great Himalaya, known as Sagarmatha, means goddess of the sky. And the Tibetan called it a Cholmungma. So like the Shivalik or the Middle Himalaya, the Great Himalaya is also known different name by the different area or a place. Their location is 27 degree 59 minute 16 north latitude, and the longitude value is the 86 degree 55 minute 46 second east. The Mount Everest is first located by the Sir George Everest, and in 1952 established as highest peak of the world. Beside the Mount Everest, some peaks are Kanchenjunga, Naga Parbat and Dhaulagiri, and peak between 7,100 and 8,000 meter elevation are Nanda Devi, Namcha Vadva, Badrinath and so on. Passes of the Great Himalaya is Zojila in Jammu Kashmir, Baralacha and Sipki lie in Himachal Pradesh and so on. There are also more passes which I study in another. Now they move to the second geographically division of Himalaya is the Trans Himalaya. The Himalayan range immediately north of the Great Himalaya range are called the Trans Himalaya and located north to the Great Himalaya. It is also called Tibetan Himalaya. because most of its lie in Tibet. The Jaskar, the Ladakh, Kailash, and Karakoram are the main ranges of the Trans-Himalaya. Like the Himalaya ranges, the Trans-Himalaya also contain a series of ranges: Jaskara range, Ladakh range, Kailash range, and Karakoram range. There stretches distance about 1,000 km in east-west direction, and its average elevation is 3,000 meter above mean sea level, and the average width is 40 kilometer at eastern and western, and 225 km in central part with that. So the central part is more wider than the eastern and western part. Now the third geographical division of mountain is the eastern hill or Purvanchal. Due to the most part fall in eastern part, so they are called Purvanchal. After crossing the Dihang Gorge in Arunachal Pradesh, the Himalaya take a certain southward turn and form a series of low hill running in the shape of crescent with its convex side pointing towards the west, and these hills collectively called Purvanchal because located in eastern part of the India. Their extension of eastern hill is from Arunachal Pradesh in north to Mizoram in south. They forms India's boundary with Myanmar and the differing markedly from the Himalaya in the scale of their relief and in their morphology. These hills range nonetheless stem and from the some orogeny that their morphology, their shape and size and their appearance is different from those ranges of the Trans-Himalaya and the Himalayan range. In north, in the Patkai Bum, which form the international boundary between Arunachal Pradesh and Myanmar, it is made of a strong sandstone and rise to elevation varying from 2,000 meter to 3,000 meter their elevation, and Patkai Bum and Naga Hill form the watershed between India and Myanmar. Khasi and Garo Hill block Indian Peninsula, and that the hills Khasi and Garo block Indian Peninsula and separate them from each other. The hills are mostly composed strong sandstone. These hills are very rigid and hard. They are covered with dense forest. Some hills of the eastern hills of Purvanchal is the Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, the Manipur Hills, Mizo Hill, Garo Hill and Khasi Hill. and these hill ranges are rather forbidding because of the rough terrain, dense forest, and swift stream. The hills of the eastern hills are also friendly with human contact and the tourist attraction. Look at the map. On map, the outermost range is Shivalik range of the Himalayan range, and the innermost range is Great Himalaya range. From north west to the east of George, and to the north of the Great Himalaya, the Trans Himalaya is present. This is the Trans Himalaya part. Some of the part of the Trans Himalaya fall in Tibet, so they are also called the Tibet Himalaya. And on this series of the Himalaya, the different size of the ranges are fall, and after the Dihang Gorge, the Purvanchal hills or the eastern hills are fall. This is the region of eastern hill. They are completely fall in the eastern part of the India. Eastern hill or Purvanchal from Arunachal to Mizoram. So this is all about the Himalayan range, their origin, their division, and in next class we come back with the main passes of the Himalayan range, which provide the road or cross and the connecting link between two state or the neighboring country. And thank for the watching my video. Thank you very much. Have a good day.